But here in Canada, I want to see how I could transition into supply chain management and learn from the experts here. Thank you.
Mm, nice, nice. You're welcome. Yeah, you're in the midst of experts for sure, as you can hear. Afak mentioned that, right? He has about 30 years experience, you mean? And it's been all over the place. Like he's learned everything about supply chain. So this is some of the strength actually of our network because we have I mean, if you combine all the experiences we have in our network together, I'm sure it'll be more than 1,000 years. If you really add up all the experiences amongst the network members. I myself have about 15, so add that to AFAC, that's 30 plus 15 already, that's 45, and add that to Remizon, so even here, as small as we are in this number here, we have over 50 years experience added together. So that's one of the huge strength that we really have in our network here. So the supply chain industry network. Um, it's a network that I've explained what we do earlier, but I guess what I would do here is to try to, like say it in a more formal way. Well, we're focused on empowering members for career and professional development in Canada through networking, mentoring, training, volunteering, and providing information about the industry trends, job opportunities, and emerging technologies within the Canadian industry. So it's a whole lot of things, right? And this is our own way of solving the challenges of foreign trained professionals in Canada, especially those in supply chain operations and project management. So here is what our missions are and the mandates are. So Sarah Projects, it's the sponsor company, so to speak, for the supply chain industry network. As of today, actually, we have incorporated Supply Chain Industry Network as a non-profit, whereas Sierra Project is actually for profit. So that's kind of the relationship here is that Sierra Project is able to provide resources to Supply Chain Industry Network to help in solving these problems that we encounter here in Canada. So what is, or let's say, who is Sierra Project? Is an ecosystem of talents, project expertise, and tech resources, empowering professionals for career fulfillment. All right. Somebody wants to join. Professional development program, training and internship programs. So, in a nutshell, Sierra Projects, like I said, is uh, the the power, behind supply chain industry network. So, supply chain industry network itself, it's a platform. So, as you will see later, there are a whole lot of different areas where you can connect, that you can engage with the network. So the mandate of Supply Chain Industry Network, which also calls Supply Jobs for short, is to create a common world of experience and expertise in the Canadian industry to empower BIPOC professionals, meaning BIPOC meaning Black, Indigenous, and people of color in Canada through networking, mentoring, and training, and also to help foster diversity and inclusion as a result of our activity. So those are really the mission and the mandate behind what we do here. So the membership, as I mentioned earlier, we have pretty much operations, supply chain, and project management professionals. So in between, you will see business analysts, data analysts. You will see human resources managers and also information business system managers. So we all know that these professionals are working within the supply value chain. So it's no surprise that you'll have guys who are actually not supply chain operations and project managers also still within our network. Yeah, because it's all about the supply value chain activities. So we have people across Canada, like I mentioned earlier, Ontario being the largest, of course. Even when you look at Canada itself, that's really where the majority of the Canadian population resides is in Ontario. So that's really very straightforward. And of course, Alberta as well. We have a large number of people in Alberta, and of course, Winnipeg and Yeah, we're still not really strong in, especially British Columbia, but in Saskatchewan, we also have quite a number of people in Saskatchewan as well. And there are platforms here, of course, WhatsApp. Most of you know WhatsApp. There's Clubhouse. I don't know why this thing is broken like this. Sorry about that. I think maybe because I just downloaded it from the platform. So Slack app is also an app that we use, especially when we have to do like a focused type of work, like a project, you know. That's why we use this when we use Slack. And then also there is Mighty Network app, which is the one where we onboard people currently. So I'm going to, after I go over this presentation, I'll actually show that app. And a lot of other things that we could do here on that platform to engage with our community members. We have YouTube, of course, Zoom that we're using currently. So the different types of activities that we engage in also is what you see on the chart there. Networking, yeah, a lot of the things that we do is networking pretty much, because even as we're talking out here right now, it's really about networking. We do mock interviews, workshops, mentoring is also a huge part of what we do. Of course, we do job postings. A job posting predominantly is what we do share on WhatsApp, though we share on the network app, but lately we have not really been very active on that. And these are the areas where we really need people. And like I mentioned earlier, you know, networking really is about adding value. We have gaps in our ability to engage, um, and this is where you can offer assistance. This is where you can support our activities so that you're adding value, and that way also we are able to help in your journey, in your integration here in Canada. So what I would say is pay attention to areas where you think we might have gaps, and try to identify the ones that might align with your interest or what you do well. That way you are able to actually build that social proof, which every Canadian employer is asking of you. They're asking you for your Canadian work experience, but little do people know that when they say Canadian work experience, it doesn't really have to be a paid job. It just has to be that, okay, you have worked with somebody, you have worked with an organization, and you have a proof, a social proof that you have added value somewhere. That's what they're asking for. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a paid employment. So here are some of the activities that we've engaged in. So all of this, like I said, is has been sponsored by Syria Projects, and that's why it says Syria Project is actually the sponsor company behind all the things that we're doing. So we were at Calgary for a networking event, and we would like to have one this year in Calgary as well, just to kind of continue building our network there. We had in Winnipeg. This was 2022, I believe. Yeah, 2022. So we need to repeat that this year. We had a major conference last year. There's a reason why we didn't have these networks activities in the cities. So we also had one in Mississauga precisely last year, and yeah, so this were all the activities we had, and we also had different type of workshops. We have two activities that are in line of professional development that are going on currently. So next week we will have the effective communication workshop, which is facilitated by Gloria, the person you see on the right hand side here is Gloria Pierre. She's the consultant that helps us with communication. Some of the challenges we have also has to do with communication. People just have to own up to this and address those issues. Fine, I know there is all other issues of discrimination, of not accepting a Canadian work experience, but when it comes to communication, we need to address that ourselves. And these are some of the things we provide resources to support in those areas. And we also do outreach where maybe we go to some of the social services to provide information about our network and how we support. You will see one of those. And then we also do job fairs. You know, last week or 2 weeks ago, we were actually at a job fair where we had some volunteers support us. Again, sorry about these things breaking up like this. I didn't really realize this was going on here. So our networking activities, as I mentioned earlier, everything we do is actually networking. So we do mentoring workshops, mock interviews, um, we do career info sessions. Actually, we had one last week when we talk about the ASCM uh, certificates. We do job postings. We also offer referrals. So this referral thing, I think a lot of people know that referral works in Canada, but then referrals can only be provided by people who trust you. And this is why it's important to actually engage within the network you belong to. Um, I said we have about 1,000 folks on WhatsApp. We have close to 500. And I can tell you, like, when it comes to really engagement, I wouldn't even say up to 10% of people who are on WhatsApp really engage. You know what I mean? So these are also things where we would like to, where we have gaps. We can't necessarily say it's because the guys who are on WhatsApp decided not to engage. I think it's just also about the number of activities or information or engagement that we provide on a continuous basis, and these are some of the gaps that we have where we really want people to support in those areas. We provide professional development activities as well. And I mentioned the other one that we're having ongoing or currently is the CSCP certification, so which is taking place every Saturday. We started about 3 weeks ago. So we also provide opportunity for internship through serial projects. So the issue of or Canadian work experience, like I mentioned earlier, it doesn't have to be through a paid job. So if you get an opportunity to intern, which we provided through Sierra Projects via the conference we had last year, we are able to have project coordinators who were interns, UI UX designers. We had a procurement coordinator who also interned, business analysts, and program coordinators. So this is through Sierra Projects. So some of it will be paid in terms of you are paying for some type of coaching, but at the same time, you are an intern with Serial Project Services. And some of them is just maybe through some opportunity for you to be able to engage in maybe third parties projects that Serial Projects is working on. So these are some of the ways through which we could also help to bridge those gaps when it comes to the Canadian work experience challenges. So here are some of the volunteer activities where uh, people could support their colleagues who are here. Some of you have years of experience in different areas where you've been supporting organizations, and the supply chain industry network offers that opportunity for you to be able to showcase those experiences. I see a lot of people when they come to Canada, and the first thing that is on their mind is because I do not have a job right now in my profession. When I reach out to people, I'll be like going, like somebody who doesn't really have a value to offer, right? And I see that often. I see a lot of the times that you have something to offer. It's just that you have not really been showcasing it. You've not really been having the platform to really showcase the value that you can add to an organization. And this is what we provide here on the Supply Chain Industry Network. Just last week, uh, one of the guys in our community still reached out to me about references. But guess what? I can only provide references to people who have actually, offered some type of value, added value, maybe either through volunteering or through internship or them acting as a mentor or some other type of things through which they have been engaging with us. And the guy that approached me was a volunteer at our last industry conference. And of course, he was a volunteer. definitely I'm able to provide that reference for him. So what my point here is that we have the solution to support your integration, but you need to engage. If you do not engage, then you might as well be like you are not part of the network. You get what I mean? Because you're coming to our network so that you can add value. And in return, value get added back onto you. It's the way it works. I always emphasize that. Now, the volunteering here is program development, curate and manage events and programs. As of today, after the industry conference where we actually had people who supported with this, I've not really had anyone who is working on this. So we will really need help of somebody who will volunteer as a program coordinator or a program, um, a manager for all of our activities. In that sense, we will be more coordinated and we will have like a schedule that we plan in advance and we resource them in advance as well. So this is where we need support. Engaging with speakers and industry stakeholders. As our conference is also approaching, it's March already, we will be needing people who will be reaching out to potential speakers for the industry conference or even for other programs that we have on a weekly basis, like the info sessions. I mean, we could engage speakers that will be experts in different areas and then bring them to these info sessions so that they can be able to share and empower us with information. This also could be recruiters. Recruiters also could be speakers on our platform. Like next week, I'll be talking about the SWOT resumes. This is also an opportunity for us being able to actually bring a recruiter as well if we have been able to engage one actively. And this is where it goes back to program development because through the program development, we would have been proactively actually engaging and resourcing, planning all the different topics that will then bring people into. Because really, what I want to be able to do at the end of the day with the Supply Jobs Canada or Supply Chain Industry Network is to actually hand it over to our members to run these activities. And through this, they're able to use that as their Canadian work experience, right? And that when they ask about Canadian work experience, they done something here and they could prove, they could showcase it as long as they've been able to provide us. So there are also mentors and coaches. A lot of our members are mentors. Some of them are instructors. They are the ones that are actually facilitating those the session that is going on currently, which is the CSCP certification cohort, is a member of our group that is doing it and is being paid. So that's also another thing that if you really do have what it takes to be able to deliver these courses with your experience and everything in between, you can actually get paid for these services. One of our instructors also does PMP and he also helps with facilitating maybe some of the coaching sessions and he gets paid for it. So these are also other areas where it goes beyond just you're doing it for free because we know you are offering a premium value. It's not just okay, those other type of things that falls along the line of volunteering. And then of course procurement and event logistics. This has to do with the planning of the workshops, purchasing materials and services that are required for the Industry Connect conference and maybe any other major event that we having. Like we're planning to have an event probably this March or April that will be in person, and then we're also planning one for I'm talking about Winnipeg. We're also planning one for probably Regina or Saskatchewan, and another one for Winnipeg this year. So though in all of these will require services and all of these things. So you're able to also help to facilitate all of that. So here are some brands that we work with at the moment, and we're increasing these brands as well. The other thing I want to emphasize, especially for those who are entrepreneurs or who want to be entrepreneurs, that there are also opportunity for entrepreneurs to work with us when it comes to some of the things that we are engaging in our activities, either maybe the planning of events and things like that. If we have entrepreneurs that are specialists in those areas, and it's something that they do for services, yeah, definitely is something we also welcome. So yeah, some of the things that we've been able to do the past few years, this partnership we go with ASCM, we had 5 internship roles in the past year. And also we started the supply chain school platform. We provide professional development, economic integration. There are several job search breakthroughs that we're able to create for our members. It's something that we also would like to track. We don't track this at the moment, and this is something that we would like to change. And this is where, people who are into project management or maybe it's operations management could also offer their support. Industry Connect conference, yeah. So this is the one we had last year where it was really like the major activity for us, which we had to pull a lot of sponsors behind it, and it was a success. But we don't want it to be a one-time success. So we want to also do it year and year in, and hopefully we'll be working with sponsors who will be able to support you financially to make this happen as they did in the last year. So opportunities here, Canadian work experience, internship opportunities, also referrals. A lot of our colleagues refers, especially if they know you're an active member of our network. To refer you, it's not a big deal for them. But if they don't know you and you're just approaching randomly, it's really easy to say I can vouch for this person if I haven't really done anything with them. And then we make impact through all of these activities to help foster diversity and inclusion in the Canadian economy. Some of the volunteers that worked with us at the industry conference last year, and we'll also be looking for volunteers this year to support with our activities. So that's all about the network. I think I don't know if there's any question at this point. Does anybody have a question? Question? Let's see. Stop sharing. Thought I stopped sharing. Any question?
Okay, I have one.
Okay.
Okay, like I introduced myself that I've not really been into supply chain management, but of course, sales is not very far from supply chain management.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
my question is, so to get started,
Mhm.
what will you recommend for me? Personally, I've been taking some certifications in supply management, and of course, you've mentioned, volunteering and all of that.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, I'm searching for a job.
Okay.
Okay, so how will you advise me at this level?
So what I would say here is that like I like to hear specifics of each person, and I know because this is something that you might not want to share every information. What I would do is I would just share a link here. You can use that link to schedule a 15 minutes phone call with me, and we can talk about more about it once I understand more of your background. Generally
Okay.
speaking, for somebody who is in sales, either way, you have been in a procurement scenario, okay? Because when we're doing procurement, you are the person on the other side of the table, right? As a salesperson. So you, in a way, you have ideas about what goes on. You have some um, recess, or did I call it recess knowledge about procurement, but not necessarily leading those activities. On the flip side, you are leading the sales activities rather than the the procurement aspects of it. So I want to believe that you have the skill sets to integrate into a procurement role. But we also talk about sales, sales also in a way has different aspects to it. Sales could be maybe you're just really focused on fulfillment processes that is not necessarily negotiation or all those type of things. It still will be sales, right? Because you are focusing on the ensuring that the customer actually received the products or the service that were promised them. But maybe you are not the one really leading the negotiations or all those other activities that leads to the sales themselves. So all depends on your experience, and this is why I like to listen to people's experience, and then I can connect it back to what is going on the supply chain end of things, and we can then use that to establish what your strengths are, where we think you should be best positioned for integration into supply chain roles. So I shared that link. You can use that to schedule a 15-minute call, and then we could talk more and then figure out what might be the best approach going forward. So thanks for asking the questions, though. This really helps me to be able um, speak
Thank
to
you.
some of the things that maybe I haven't really been able to touch on. So
Thank you.
any other question? I hope that answered your question, though.
Yes, yes, perfectly.
Okay, sounds
Yeah, I have a question. I don't know if you talked about it before I came in. I think I came in late. The first one is I know you talked about conferences and workshop and stuff like that. Do you have plans for those that are like in Ontario, like maybe Toronto and the likes? I know you guys were here, I think last year. Do you have any other workshop plan for this year or whatnot?
good. Yeah, well, so here is the thing. When it comes to this workshops, um, you know, it's being funded by Sierra Projects, like I mentioned earlier. So if we do have the necessary fundings, because we're pushing for some fundings at the moment, if we do get those fundings, it's possible for us to host something in person in Ontario. However, if that's not the case, at the worst case scenario, we'll have a virtual one. But it is for us, Ontario is a very important part of our activities. In fact, that's the largest group within our activities. So it's a no-brainer that we should have something like that there. But of course, we have constraints when it comes to funding, and the ability to have an in-person there is still subject to the fundings that we are expecting. So yeah, definitely we do have Ontario on mind, for these activities as well. So
Okay,
I
thank
hope
you.
that answers your question.
Yeah,
Yeah. Any?
second
Okay,
question
go
is
ahead.
for I mean I've been in like supply chain industry for like a while, not like a
Yeah.
long time, at least over 2 years, I'm sure. But I'm basically moving from my last role or current role is in operations. I'm looking to lean more towards procurement proper. What
Okay.
what certifications do you think would help in that transition and that will make it easier for me? Because
So what
in the
was your
sense,
prior experience? Because you didn't introduce yourself, so I didn't get
oh,
to know.
okay, I currently work as an operations manager in a company called Fastenal. I'm sure you
Okay.
know Fastenal. Yeah, I work as an operations manager in Fastenal, and
Mm.
it basically encompasses everything. I do sales, I do procurement, I do almost everything. I'm just trying to
Okay.
channel, to narrow it down now, rather than do general. You know what
Specialize,
I
yeah.
mean? Yeah, I want to specialize now. So I have my PMP. I don't know if that's gonna really help me in procurement as well, but I just want to really narrow it down strictly to procurement and contracting. So I don't
Okay.
know what direction you'll be able to point me towards to make that easy.
So when it comes to transition from operations management, I think it's pretty straightforward. Like you mentioned, operations managers will engage in all of these activities. So for somebody who is specializing, yeah, definitely certification will be the way to go. Now, when it comes to certification, there are different types. Um, if you are engaging in, uh, let's say, a public sector, like you're exploring public sector, I would say SCMP might be the most important certification to take for for return on investment. But if you are still like in the private, especially in the sector where you are now, I want to believe I don't know if I could call your industry like is it metals and processing or something of that nature? Well, what industry would you say you are right now? Because you said it's fasteners, right?
Yeah, so I can't categorize it into one industry because we service everybody. You know what I'm saying? We service everybody. We serve automotive, healthcare, construction. Like I have a bit and a bit of knowledge for all of them in servicing them. So because fastener might sound like, oh, we just deal with fasteners, but I mean we even go into safety.
You do maintenance or something like that?
Yeah, we do maintenance as well. Yeah. So like
Yeah.
we try to as much as we can to service the whole industry, just to get the market share. So I have a good knowledge of almost all of this. Not a deep knowledge, but like a very good knowledge of all of this. So
Okay.
I don't want to be like, doing all of that. I want to really, really
Specialist.
specialize. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
So in fact, if it's possible to go into IT procurement, that would be great. But anyone that works, like, I don't really know how to get into it because I'm just so scattered. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
So I mean, it's sometimes it's just about taking those little steps, If you like the way I hear it is that you're okay where you are right now at the moment, and maybe if the company is able to sponsor you, yeah, they're able to pay for your certification. Yeah, you could take advantage of that. I think normally these companies will do that with SCMP. But if you want to take a step at a time, I think you can take the procurement certificate, which is the ASCM one. So like kind of get your feet wet to, understand, okay, what are the expectations in terms of the knowledge that you will need to navigate the procurement function. So, and because you have some experience, I think this will be like kind of the easiest way to get your feet wet and then try to explore. If you want to explore IT procurement from there, yeah, then you already have the foundational knowledge, kind of have a badge for the underlying procurement um, principles that will help you to be able to then navigate the maybe ECC procurement you're thinking about, like Ariba, or you're thinking about ERP, like maybe SAP, and things like that. So, you could go that direction if that's what you prefer. So, try the procurement certificate, and we're having a cohort in April. If it's something you would like to join, yeah, we could talk more about it. I put a link there in the chat box. Use that to schedule a 15-minute phone call with me, and we could explore this further in terms of maybe even talk about how you can navigate the IT area, given your interest. So that link is there. It's still it could be used by anyone. It's not a one-off um, link. So any other question?
Actually, I have some suggestions if you, I
Oh,
mean,
go ahead.
yeah, the suggestion is, I mean, your platform and our networking, this is good. It's great to join and great to participate,
Mhm.
but it will be much better if we will make some scheduling. Scheduling means quarterly scheduling. What will be the functions? And what will be the objectives we need to achieve. So it will be helpful because, again, in Canada, everyone has to work to pay the bills, to pay the other things, and also to join such platforms also. So if
Yeah.
there is some scheduling, I mean, quarterly, so these are our events, this is going to happen, so everyone can be prepared well and he can participate well in that. So I
Yeah,
mean that one is much better. So I joined you recently actually. So I'm seeing the time to time there is some I mean options coming, but sometimes you cannot join it. But if you have, in hand the schedules, the things, then it's better time management and the things to be managed.
Makes sense. So there are two ways we have approached this. The link is used. Okay, so I will share. Let me see. I don't know why that happened that way. Like, just give me a second. I would respond to that comment. So try this one. So, Afak, I do totally agree with you. And there are two ways that we've approached this when it comes to scheduling. You already know that our events takes place 11 a.m. Saturdays. Okay, so that's everybody knows that. So even if you don't know what we're going to do on a Saturday, you already know that we have a session at 11 a.m. So that's one already gives us that consistency in terms of how we run our programs. Now, after that, the other aspects to how we schedule is that every Saturday we know there is a category for each event that we're going to hold every Saturday. So the first Saturday, maybe I didn't talk about it earlier, but it's good you mentioned this so that I can emphasize that now. So the first Saturday is when we have something like this, where we meet new folks within our network, right? And then the second Saturday is when we talk about a specific job search or some challenges, with newcomers, integrating. So, like I already mentioned, next week we're going to talk about resume. So, how do you do effective resume? That will be for next week. So, and second Saturday is always about that. It's always about maybe it's effective communication issues, the job search roadmap. So when we talk about the job search roadmap, it's like all of the different things that any job seeker will be dealing with. Okay, so that is the time we address it. So second Saturdays. So it could be LinkedIn, it could be resumes. It could even be we bring in a recruiter, to have a guest, so that will be zoned, it will be focused on just job search. And then the third week is when we have the mock interviews, right? So if you are actively applying, we encourage reach out sooner so that we can put you, because we don't want to have more than 2 people, max 3 people who are the candidates, so that it will be more effective given the time limit we might have. So if you are actively interviewing, meaning your resume is working, all you just want to do is you want to see how you can convert those interview opportunities into a job offer, then this is what I normally would highly encourage people to reach out and schedule to join that interview. So every third Saturday of the month, that's what we have. And the last Saturday of the month, which is the fourth week, will be for info session. So this is when we do a workshop, or when you talk about a particular type of topic. Maybe we're talking about MRP and we invited some guests, or we're talking about data analytics and we invited some guests to talk about it. So that's what we do every fourth Saturday of the month. Now, this is actually consistent throughout the year. So throughout the year, we'll always have it this way. It's just that then as we move closer to the day, then we might just maybe finalize, the topics and all sort of things like that. But you will have that same format consistently throughout the months of the year. So having said that though, um, we also want people to be engaged, like me talking about the supply chain industry network. I actually feel like at this point in time, we should have gotten to a level where I'm not actually the one doing that presentation. If we have people who are hands-on, who really want to engage with what we do here, right? And we have lots of people, but it's Saturdays, and that's the only time we could have this. But guess what? People are busy during the weekdays, and then Saturdays is the time they have to, do their own thing. So this is why I've seen that maybe sometimes people might not be actively engaged. But beyond that, I think this is why I talk about the program coordination or program coordinator, so that we can have some people who are actively engaging the members on maybe bringing them to participate in the activities, maybe even just coordination, not necessarily maybe even facilitating. So this is where the program coordination comes in, and we need somebody to take on that role. Even if it's not one person, it can be two people, because then that way it's something that could then be managed, amongst those who are helping with the program coordination. I actually drafted like a plan for the year. So we have some guys who are currently volunteers for the last Industry Connect conference. So we'll try to also bring them on board to see if they can help in these areas that I've mentioned, to pretty much help with the coordination and engaging with speakers and things like that, beyond just the Industry Connect conference. So these are the things that we do when it comes to our scheduling. There's some level of consistency there, but we still need people to be actively engaging in resourcing, volunteers, and also engaging with speakers continuously, year in, year out, so that, I mean, week in, week out, or month in, month out, so that we can have a good flow of guests, information shared, and insights shared, by experts within the industry. And definitely, this is why we call ourselves the Supply Chain Industry Network. We want to bring in the industry people, stakeholders, to participate in activities. And this is where the program coordination will help us. So thanks for asking the question, Alpha, but I hope I was able to answer most of your questions. But if you have any other thing that you'd like to add to that, or some other questions, welcome.
It's fine.
Yeah. Any other comment or questions? No, I'm not talking from AFAC now, from the other guys. Oh, we're all good. Okay. Yeah. So let me show us the. Yeah. So I also figured out one of the things that we have available is the Supply Chain Industry Network. By the way, I want to believe everybody already joined the WhatsApp, but you haven't joined the WhatsApp yet. Let me quickly share the WhatsApp link, so that way, because I noticed it was more effective that we do it here. If there are people that haven't joined the WhatsApp yet, then we can quickly bring you into the WhatsApp from here. It will ask you to request to join. So I would just go in and then, approve the request to join. So if you haven't joined our WhatsApp yet, I'm gonna put the link here. Just for the purpose of those who are joining the meeting, please don't share it with any other person. Just click on it, request to join, and then once I see your request, I will approve that. Can you see my screen currently? I'm sharing the. I hope it's not too small.
Yeah, it was better before.
Okay, it's better
Yeah,
now.
yeah, it's better. Yeah, it's better this way.
Okay, sounds good. So this is the Supply Chain Industry Network platform. So by the way, we use a Mighty Network app for this, and yeah, I just found it more helpful, even though we have a different we have an ERP now that we actually use for our activities, especially with serial projects activities. This has also been serving us, especially for socializing purposes. So I will quickly show it to you here so that you can see some of the things you might be able to do. So you have this here, you can actually invite others. Just copy that link and share it, or just send them supplyjobs.ca. So that's also another way, to go about it. Even if you're not using that link, just send this link to them, www.supplyjobs.ca, right? Then once you share that with them, we'll bring them to the WhatsApp, when we onboard them. So this is also another area where we actually need people to help, because this is a platform that is actually a paid platform. So we pay for this platform, and we have organized different information, different resources here, so that when people join in our network, they are getting value right away. So the way we organize this is we have spaces, and we have so the spaces that we have here, you can see we have industry networking. So there's the home page, there's networking page, events page, where you will see all our events. As you see here, all the events that we schedule. There's also the one that we call socials. So socials just is another way that you can engage. If you click on this create, you can go live, right? Maybe you have a question and then you could just post it in a video format, and then people would respond. You can do a quick post, you can do an article, you can do a question or a poll. So this way, like I was mentioning earlier, these are ways that you can build trust, within our network, by engaging with others, in an intellectual way. Building intellectual rapport, be seen as somebody who is somebody who can offer value, somebody who have knowledge and expertise. Um, and what we have also done in the past is, if we see you are very committed or you're regular, this is something you would like to commit to, we will actually also brand it, and we will provide you with like a banner that you can use to share it on your LinkedIn, which helps you to brand your um, yourself as a professional with expertise in those areas. Okay, so there is a communication one. So I think it has to do with maybe generally communication skills. And this one is the one we set up for the Industry Connect. We didn't really use it, so that's why you see it's empty here. We wanted to use it, but we realized that it would just be like a little bit scattered. So there is the industry news and trend space. So you can see we have the industry news here. We have the commodities. If you're asking questions about commodities, this will be the space for it. Supply chain and industry news. So this, I used to do it regularly, but I stopped because there were so many things I was working on, and I thought, okay, well, you know what? Something has to give, especially during the Industry Connect conference. So I couldn't continue with this. But if this is something you would like to participate in, basically the industry news are already there on the internet. It's just curation. You're just curating it, like you're just sourcing for this news in the industry, and then you're posting it here. That's all. So for example, I saw this one which I actually used for my students when I was talking about technology and supply chain. This one is talking about how Walmart uses blockchain to solve supply chain challenges, specifically with their procure to pay processes. And I posted it here. You see, this is January 15. It's been a long time, right? So because I realized that I can't do everything myself, something is that to give, because we don't have people who are really engaging and participating, providing this. Again, it comes back to adding value. Networking really is about adding value. A lot of people need to understand that adding value really is what networking is. If you're not adding value, you're not really networking effectively. So there is there is this supply chain skills where we're posting different things about supply chain skills. So this could also be something, if it's aligned well with your goals, something you can also work on. Now this is the job search roadmap space. So as you can see, we touch on several things, interviews, project management, resume, effective communication, and all type of stuff. The ones that we really worked on or that we did a lot, which I was actually the one posting here, is the supply chain jobs. So I will post jobs because I will curate this from LinkedIn because I just focus on LinkedIn, to save effort. So if this is something you would like to do, why not? And the interesting thing is that we don't just have supply chain jobs. We also have supply chain IT jobs, right? So I posted a couple here, but if this is something that you like, maybe you are in supply chain, you are exploring supply chain IT, and you would like to, share some of the things you are seeing. It is just that you can apply to every job. So there will be some jobs that other people might be interested in, they have the skills to apply to. Then you can share them here, right? So if it's something you'll be interested in, reach out to me or use that link to just schedule and indicate that you will like to volunteer or something. Yeah, so all of this focusing on different aspects of job search. So that's why this is a job search roadmap space. So if you're looking for information related to job search in all these areas, just come here. And then there is the supply chain career roadmaps. So this touches on different things, even some of the questions that you have never asked before. Some people might have asked those questions. So we catalog, or we say we archive those questions here, and also the comments, from people having asked those questions. We have one dedicated to SCMP certification group. So this will post information related to SCMP. And for those of you who are interested in becoming SCMP certified, and this is where you would, come in. If you want to volunteer to help provide information, to help curate information about SCMP, this is where it will be. CSCP certification is also another one here. So you can see the CSCP certification, information, events, questions, and all type of stuff. And if you want to meet guys who already have the certification, of course, this is where you come. Some of them already have the certification, or some of them are planning to write the certification. Operations management. So you will see operations management topic. So we actually had one of us who was focused on this, but because it's not really been able to, continue after some time. You can see this is showing 9 months ago. So if this is operations management topics would be something you would like to share with the rest of the groups, then that's there. We also have warehousing and distribution. We had a member who also was doing this, and we will also, you will see we branded it, so they will also post this on LinkedIn. We'll just share them with these banners. So they are curating this. It's not like they are writing this themselves. That's one thing people also have to understand. Like, you didn't have to come up with this thing yourself. If you see a great topic around operations management and it's something you like to share with our network, this way it will be. Or if you want to just be like a dedicated person who will be helping with these aspects, this is where it will be. So, and then we also have the digital and supply chain IT. So I did most of this because this is my own area of specialization. I did the one that has to do with the Microsoft Dynamics, SAP, ERP. Then there is the data science and analytics group. I did this one for some time too, because I didn't really get anyone who could support with. So you'll see what do I do? I just curate this. Like, I'm not writing this off myself. I just go on the internet, look for topics that I could share with the network, and I just post them. Some of them even come with pictures already or stuff like that. Some of them are from YouTube and things like that. So, and you see, this one is when we had the data science and supply chain analytics session. It's as far back as 2022, right? So I also posted, a link here. I think this one is just to join the session. So I think the last one is the project management space. So in the project management space, you can also see we have the project management cohort. Though this cohort now, we're not having it here on this platform anymore. We now have it on our website, the Supply Chain School website. And then there is the project management certification group. So this is where you'll see people who are intending to write the certification, who have written the certification, and also the cohort that is coming up. We have a cohort coming up in April. That's what you see here. So this is where all this information are also posted. And then even we have a free course on project management from Google that was shared here. So all these type of resources, which helps you know people within our network. And this is how you will add value. If this is of interest to you, like I said, reach out, use that link, schedule a 15 minutes call with me. So these are the general areas. So you have the members here, so you can see members here, and I think I like the way they did it visually this time around. And you can see all the guys who are commenting, making, maybe contributing in one way or the other. So those are the ones they call top members here. And then you can see the guys who are in business analysis. You can see the guys who are near you. So wherever you are in Canada, you will see the guys that are within your location. And this also will help you with maybe building your network, connecting with them, and construction management. These are new members. So people who have joined newly, you can see they are also showing them here as well. And then contract administration and all these other types of so you can see, I think I can't remember who said was into operations management. You can see all the guys who are into operations management here. Okay, so that's it. There's a discovery one. So this discovery one will just show you all the type of things that we are posting here, like kind of give you like an overview. So yeah, this is feed. So everything that we're posting, just like you have feeds on the LinkedIn, everything people post, you will see them here. So you can see Temitope say I can't find the link to the meeting. So everything that we share will also come to the feed. You can just scroll through and you will see new things that have been posted here. So that is the supply chain industry network platform. Of course, like we said earlier, we have the WhatsApp as well. I don't know if there's any question at this point on the supply chain industry network platform. Any question? Okay, I think I saw somebody requested to join the WhatsApp. Okay, so we already approved. Yeah. Okay, so any question on this one? That's the platform. No question? So like I said, if you like to participate, you like to help, please reach out, use that link that I shared to schedule 15 minutes phone call or opportunity to volunteer. Yeah, we can look at which one you think is a good match, is a good fit for you to volunteer. And there are many areas that I've mentioned already. Next week we'll be looking at the SWOT resume, which is the SWOT resume was actually created by me, and I'm going to explore the concept of SWOT resume with the participants, and I will share, some of the way you can use the SWOT resume to improve your results when it comes to applying to jobs in Canada. So that's what we're going to look at next week. Yeah, if there are no questions, I think what you will do for me is to, help complete my survey here, which will help us to see how we can get better with our activities or with this particular session or segment. yeah, this segment also would like to see if we can bring speakers. If you identify recruiters that you think, by the way, this is the job of the program coordinators, right? So they will be identifying people that they think we could bring to the network to help share information. So if you think you know some people that we should bring to the network to share insights and share information, they're welcome. They don't have to be immigrant or anything. As long as they have value to share with us, yeah, we'll be interested to have them on our platform, as long as you consider them to be great speakers. Try to see where I have my. So give me a second here. I'm trying to share the link for the feedback. Okay, I think I got this one. Nah, okay. Okay, let's look at this one. Okay, I'm going to share this one. Copy. So I'm going to share it in the, yeah, so help complete that survey. Just some few questions. A lot of questions. Just provide feedback on our discussions here today. So like I mentioned earlier, if you have some specific issues that you like to discuss, please use that link to schedule a 15 minutes phone call. What I would also like us to do here to expand our network is we should share our LinkedIn so that we can connect with each other. And like I always encourage, don't only connect but reach out. If possible, schedule a phone call, schedule a Zoom to have like a informational session. You heard Afak here. Afak said he has about 30 years experience. I mean, you could see Afak has a lot of experience to share with us. If I were you, I'll be connecting with him. I'll be scheduling some phone call with him and try to learn from some of the experiences that he has to share with us. So I've shared my LinkedIn here. I'll encourage you to do likewise and connect with everybody who is joining today. And then see how you take the conversation forward from here so that you could explore opportunities for collaboration, share insights. Everybody have something to offer. I mean, considering that you left your home country not as a secondary school or like a high school student, you worked in your industry before you landed here, so you have something of value to share. It's all about making that happen by connecting with people and scheduling some type of you know meeting with them. I don't know if I'm able to. I'm sharing with everyone. Yeah, I think you can see my LinkedIn, right? Can you see my LinkedIn in the comment section, or we call it chat box?
Yes, we can see
Oh,
it.
okay, okay. So please share your LinkedIn there, and then I'll connect to see how to take the conversation forward. Let me see what we have on the. Okay. Oh, you can see the survey link, right? So please help to respond to that survey link as well. It's also a way for us to learn how we can support better. Okay, so I think I see Abdullah's. I think we're connected already. I see Abdullah's LinkedIn. So Abdullah, I think you're in Ontario, right?
Yeah, that's correct. We're connected.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was thinking you're in Manitoba. Okay, Ontario.
No, remember we spoke like I think like we spoke like 2 or 3 years ago. Like I think when we started projecting back then, I think 3 years ago, I was just not able to move forward with the whole thing then.
Okay. That was on Clubhouse, I suppose.
That was like just when you started Clubhouse, yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, any other person? Temitope. Okay, I've not connected with Temitope yet. I've sent you a request to connect. What else? So I've only seen 2 links so far. Any other person? Okay, let me see if we had any other response. Okay, so I think a couple of people responded to the surveys. Okay. Okay then. Thanks guys for joining us today. I will leave the Zoom just for those who still want to post their LinkedIn or who would like to use some of the links that we have there in the comment section. So I'll leave it for some time to give you the opportunity to use whatever link you have there, and maybe in roughly about 5 minutes time I will shut down the system. Okay. So thanks for joining us today, Abdullah, Demola, Afak, Remy, Temitope. Okay. Bye for now and have a great weekend, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
So next week we're talking about resume,
Thank
and
you.
if you're interested in
Yeah, thank you so much, Abedo.
yeah, if you're interested in mock interview, don't hesitate to reach out. Okay. Bye for now.
Thank you very much. Have a great weekend, my friends.
Bye.